Welcome back to the Rogues of the Garage channel as we continue with the mail call for my Outlaws of Thunder Junction collection. We have several envelopes to open today, so let's get started. We have Fractured Identity in the breaking news style. 1 blue, 1 white, 3 others. It's a sorcery that allows you to remove an opponent's creature, and then you get to make, actually every player gets to make a copy of it. We have a friend who tends to be a little bit better than the rest of us at this game. So, if we can find a way to kind of needle them to try and kind of keep them down a little bit early game to try and help the rest of us get going, because that's one of the things that this individual is good at is just getting off to a really fast start, bringing out a lot of mana and being able to cast whatever's in his hand. So a card like this, it's just a small way to needle that person, try and keep them down as well as help everyone else at the table. The idea being, I might not win, but I'm going to try and make sure that you don't. And that's kind of what this card, when I see this card, that's what I think about. It looks like we have the extended art version of Final Showdown. Cost 1 white plus at least 1 more, up to, I believe, 7 more. Though I look at these abilities and they all seem to be fairly strong. For just an extra +1, 1 white, 1 extra, all creatures lose all abilities till end of turn. That could be very powerful. For another 1 colorless, choose a creature you control. It gains indestructible. So if you got a creature you're afraid that opponents are going to try and target, you can try and help them survive the turn. And then for an extra 3 colorless and 2 white, a total of 7 to destroy all creatures. So an expensive version of Wrath of God, as I would think of it. Final Showdown, I like the spree ability. I like all 3 abilities it provides. I think it's a card I would think about putting in a white deck. We have Humiliate, the breaking news style. It looks to be a foil, which concerns me because I didn't buy foils, but sometimes they upgrade you. This looks to be a 1 black, 1 white sorcery. Target opponent reveals their hand. You choose a non-land card from it. That player discards that card. Put a +1 counter on a creature you control. You know, for a 2 mana casting cost sorcery, that's not bad. I think I like that a lot, actually. Thicker. So what we have here is Skullcrack. Players can't gain life this turn. Damage can't be prevented this turn. Skullcrack deals 3 damage to target. Okay, so it's a nice little instant. Direct damage is red, I think, is historically known for. So it's a nice card to add to the collection. All right, so what we got here? Prismatic Vista. This seems to be one of those special guest cards, and it's a land. Pay 1 life, sacrifice, search for basic land, put it in. Okay, I think it's all right. But again, you're paying 1 life and you're only getting a basic land out of it. I kind of feel like a spot holder. I'm not sure that it's something I would, I don't know. Very nice artwork at the very least. I just don't know if it's something I would run in a deck. But again, I'm a casual, and there may be people far better at the game that think this card's amazing. The Get Raw Ravenous Ride. 6/5, trample haste, 1 green, 1 black, 3 colorless. Feels like it's a decent price for those abilities. I think it's a pretty decent card. All right, looks like we have Ruthless Lawbringer. 1 black, 1 white, 1 colorless for a 3/2. Enters the battlefield, you may sacrifice another creature. When you do, destroy target opponent. Okay. It's not bad. I believe this is one of the promo cards for OTJ. I don't think it's a bad casting cost, and it's not a bad little one-time ability. Definitely be situational. All right, what do we have here? We have tokens. That's what we have. I decided when I was going to collect Outlaws of Thunder Junction that I would get the tokens, and I did not yet have a bat token. And it appears there's a second one, so a map and a bat. There you go. Here we have another token. I like my tokens. I want to try and collect every card from the set. So it's one of those things that if I don't have the token, I want it. And I didn't have the construct, and now I do. So here's Fling in the breaking news style. Looks to be a red instant, one red, one colorless. You also have to sacrifice a creature, but it deals damage equal to the sacrificed creature's power to any target. So that could be very beneficial. I think there's another card in here. Yes, there is. It seems like it's called Endless Detour. One blue, one white, one green. Instant as well. The owner of target spell, non-land permanent, or a card in the graveyard puts it on top or bottom of their library. I assume you might play that on yourself. You use it as a self-cast. I believe you pronounce this Marchesa, Dealer of Death. Looks to be an extended art variety. It's a 3/4, one red, one blue, one black. So again, you're talking about 3 specific colors. There are no colorless in this casting cost. But overall, I think the cost is fine. Let's see here. When you commit a crime, you may pay 1. If you do, look at the top 2 cards of your library, put 1 into your hand and the other into your graveyard. Well, if you have any type of recursion, that's not bad at all. If you can bring cards back, if you can bring creatures back, that's not a bad ability to have. And that is Marchesa, Dealer of Death. I think there's a second card here. Let's see what this one is. Step Between Two Worlds. 2 blue, 3 colors. Each player shuffles their hand and graveyard into their library. Each player who does draw 7 cards. Exile Step Between the Wilds, but you can plot it for 2 blue and 4 colorless. I think this is rather handy if you end up putting a lot of cards in the graveyard, have no way of getting them out. You're able to at least put them back in your library. At the same time, it's beneficial to opponents as well. So I'm not sure how I would personally feel about that. I'd try to probably find cards that are only beneficial to me. But again, it could be very powerful in the right situation. Archangel of Tithes. 3 white, 1 colorless, or 3/5 flyer. As long as the Archangel of Tithes is untapped, creatures can't attack you or planeswalker you control unless their controller pays 1 colorless for each of the creatures. So this reminds me a little bit of like Propaganda. It's not quite as, the ability itself is not quite as good as Propaganda, but of course this is a creature, so I would hope that an enchantment that does the same thing might be a little bit better. Otherwise, what's the point of the enchantment? But I think this isn't bad, particularly if you're worried about being attacked. I know I have friends that, or a particular friend that likes to play a certain commander that requires his opponents to attack everyone else each round if possible. So just simply having this guy out, I would think, as long as you can find a way to keep him untapped, that would be the difficult part. But if you could, that would help you in that type of situation. Archangel of Tithes. And we are down to our last envelope. Go. We have, in frame, we have Make Your Own Luck. 1 blue, 1 green, 3 colorless sorcery. Look at the top 3 cards of your library. You may exile a non-land card from among them. If you do, it becomes plotted. Put the rest into your hand. It's not terrible. You can set up for the future. Particularly if you got a spell that's more of a win condition, but you draw it early, you can be able to delay its coming to fruition. So it's not a terrible sorcery to have. And that will wrap us up for this episode of Mail Call. Thank you for stopping by.